Hey everyone, and welcome to an especially late episode of Mitch's Make a Minute.
That's my fault.
No. We're always late. It doesn't matter. Like we're always late. It's when people sign up to
No,
watch
but
the
it's
show.
specifically my fault.
When people sign up to watch the show, they know, like longtime fans know that even though we say 9 o'clock, is it really though? Is it really 9 o'clock? And
If
half
they
the
expected us to be on time, nah, that's just weird. You're not a
yeah
true fan.
yeah you're
If you
not
expect us to be on time.
yeah. Come on, guys. This that's why we don't get
Yeah, 9
sponsors.
o'clock
No.
actually means like 9:30.
Now, 9 o'clock could mean anywhere between 9 and 9:30, just because the Sunday show. There's always like some sort of factor that goes into it, whether it's like setup or dumb shit or whatever. But anyways, guys, welcome to another episode. We got quite a lineup for you, but there's a very specific topic I want to talk about this week, and we'll get into it a little later. But obviously, with me today is Nate. It's very rare for you to show up to the show, but hey, welcome on.
Yeah, because I'm actually awake on time for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Strange
not
concept.
dying. I'm not dying or sleep deprived because it's not like a record usually
That's right.
at like 2 a.m. on my end.
That's right. So let's go ahead and get into the channel update stuff real quick. All right. So in this week's channel update, we have pretty much the same as we always do, right? Pokemon's coming to an end. Probably sometime this week. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe not, because I'm thinking about it now.
Post-game stuff.
Yeah, we will probably finish the main game. But we will do the post game, and that'll probably take like another week or two to get done. And then once that's done, I actually have a game I have lined up for something I want us to play.
Fun. Can I just talk about it, like Pokemon, for a second? Because I was playing it, like I didn't like advance or anything. Like obviously, like
I
over
just
my
beat
trip.
the game. I'm level 100
No,
with all of my Pokemon. I'm ready
okay.
to wreck Leon's tight asshole. It'll be grand.
No. So my friend got to that point, and I'm like, if you show me that screen, I will punch you and knock you the fuck out, because I'm like, I've done my best to ignore spoilers for like Leon's fight, of like how it looks visually. I'm just like, if you fucking spoil it for me, I'm gonna hurt you so bad. No, but I've just been like doing some of like the extra stuff that you can do, combining the fossils and stuff. So I was able to get 3 of the Pokemon that you can get, which, by the way, those things are goddamn ugly. I just need like the
How
fish.
dare you? They're precious babies.
No, I love them, but they look like monsters.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Okay, go ahead.
Is Pokemon not short for pocket monsters?
What Pokemon are you saying is ugly?
The fossil ones.
They look okay. Okay, so there's actually a really fun, intricate reason why they are the way they are.
Yeah, I know.
So the reason why is because back in the day, archaeologists or paleontologists, yeah, there it is. Paleontologists, early day ones, didn't exactly have the best judgment on how dinosaurs looked, and so they kind of mishmashed them a little bit. And
they were just kind of figuring it out as they went.
So like there's like dinosaurs and stuff that like don't have like the right they don't have like the right bones or the right structure, and there's even one that's just like it has a tail, it has a pair of legs, a head, and then it has like a big like unicorn horn. And it's like it's one in Germany. Like there's a whole there's a really good Tumblr post that talks about how like for just a long time.
I think I seen that exact one actually.
Yeah,
because you said the big unicorn horn, and I went, oh, that abomination.
Yeah, so like there's a really good post going around that explains why the Galar Pokemon are the way that they are, and it's just because
I like it. It just caught me like so by surprise, because I'm like. Because I figured out how to do it, and my friend had been trying for like an hour to get the fossils, because you can only really get it in one way. And I got like, I got all of them within like the first half an hour. I still need another dino one so I can get the fish dino, and then and then I have all of them. he got so mad because I was like, because I had a fuck ton of watts because I didn't spend any of them because I had no need to. And so I just stood there for like 20 minutes, just constantly making him dig for fossils. And my friend immediately piped up, it's like, well, you haven't got a dino one yet. As like I hit next, it's like, I guess got a dino fossil.
Oh my god. But that being said, we'll talk more about Pokemon a little later. Back to channel news real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So, on your guys' end, you guys have we have Pokemon. Persona continues, and I ran into a very unique issue with last week's episode.
Yeah.
So at every Saturday and Sunday, like between Saturday and Sunday, I'll go through the Persona footage and like make highlights. And some of you guys see that on Tumblr, some of you guys see that, wherever. Like we're trying to keep up a little archive on Twitter, and that's kind of my new goal right now. Was like I keep forgetting to post highlights there. But we actually have 7 minutes of highlights just from the last episode. Normally I'll collect about 3 ridiculous acts, but I don't know what the fuck was up with me and gang on Thursday, but that shit went ridiculous, and like I have like a full 7 minutes worth of material, and I'm contemplating just uploading that in itself as a video this week. But yeah, so like we have you guys are getting your normal streams, and I do want to apologize for the lack of videos lately. It's been kind of December's a weird month for us, and I think I said something about it last week where it's like we have a lot of things going on with like trips, holidays, all sorts of stuff, and we're hoping that at least the streams will keep you guys satiated for a little bit. I do know that we have some plans to kind of finish up some shows here and there, but I just want to let you guys know that it is a constant on our end of just making sure you guys have everything set and squared away for this cozy holiday. I'm actually there's something I am very curious about that I was wanting to experiment with. Okay. There is we've completed some of our shows, not all of them, mind you, but some of our shows we've completed them. Whether it's Kingdom Hearts, whether it's top of my head, I can't really think of that many because Revengeance.
Let's go Eevee.
Let's go Eevee. Like we did Deltarune. There's tons of them. My mind's blanking right now. But I was thinking about just like being like, hey, we have these, it seems like you guys prefer our long format shows. So what I was gonna do is I was gonna just download each episode, especially like I was thinking about this specifically with Deltarune, right? Where I would just download both of the episodes, combine it into one, and then just have that out there for people to consume, and just having completed versions. I've noticed that some Let's Players are kind of doing that, where they have like longer formatted episodes. And while normally we don't do that kind of stuff here on Save Point City, it is something that I'm kind of like, well, you guys do seem to like our streams in the format in which it is. Maybe that's something you guys would be interested. I don't really know. I wanted to ask you guys, if that's something you're interested in, or if that's something you'd be like, because I have some, we have the playlists obviously, but I have some fans who prefer that longer format. So if you just let us know what's up, and we'll have those for the holiday trips. And you can just fucking listen to us play whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Varying levels of energy. But yeah, so that's kind of all the channel updates I'm gonna have for you guys. I will say that Persona is this week, but I think that Persona might not be on the 19th or 18th. Or Yang Mudo said something, and we'll address it again on Thursday. But there is a very specific Thursday coming up. Whether I think it's next week.
Yeah, I think she specifically said the 19th.
Yeah, I think it's the 19th. But like we'll obviously we'll get that number from her. I'm sure you guys will tune in for that Persona episode, and we'll make sure everything's set up and squared away. And then we'll be good to go. With that being said, there's a very interesting episode we have up ahead because we had 2 very big trailers come out this week, and it's something that I've been talking about here and there on the show for a little bit for fans who've been, listening to the podcast, whether it was, Mitch's Minute or the Velvet Cast or whatever. There is something very specific that I've been wanting for a while now. So earlier this week, we got the Black Widow trailer, and I'm not the
Did we?
Yeah, we
I didn't see it.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna talk about like.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the other one, but I want to bring up this idea real quick.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, no, I just had no idea. I honestly haven't kept up with Marvel, since Endgame.
Yeah. So real quick, for those that I guess who don't know, they released a Black Widow trailer earlier in the week. They have Officer Hoffman, or I think Hooper. Is it Hooper? Yeah, it's Hooper. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Anyways,
I have no fucking clue.
They have like an actor that I actually do like. He was in Hellboy, whose name escapes me right now. David something. I'm so bad with names. But the point is that like they have the trailer out. It's supposed to be, the Black Widow trailer. It's the big finally Marvel has its it's female hero that that people have been asking for a very long time. And it's very funny that I said that because I actually forgot about Captain Marvel.
Oh no, Mitch. We're all trying to forget about Captain Marvel here.
Oh my god. So, that aside,
use your brain bleach and erase.
Oh, there's a sword. There's a sword in Bleach where if you stab someone with that sword in Bleach, it fucking makes you. It's the Forget-Me-Not sword. It's not what it's called, but that's what I call it. And it just it erases your memories. And I'm like, I guess I must have accidentally
decimate me.
I must have like pricked my finger on the Forget-Me-Not sword. But the point is that they had a trailer that was released earlier, and it's a movie that a lot of people have been wanting for years. A lot of people wanted, Scarlett Johansson to come on for a solo adventure, and that's kind of what Marvel kind of kept telling them no. But we're in a post-Endgame world. We're in a post-Endgame world in which Marvel has to kind of find new ways to reinvigorate the crowds and stuff. I mean, obviously you have their Disney Plus shows that are coming. I hate the fact that I fell for that because Disney Plus shows apparently aren't coming up for like 2 more years. So they made it sound like they were coming up way sooner, but it's not. They announced that shit fucking early. But the point is that it's supposed to be their big bombastic, like, yes, this is our farewell to you, Black Widow. I guess, but then literally,
goodbye. We never wish to see you again.
But then, right out the gate, a couple days later, Wonder Woman 1984's trailer popped out, and so now this is the exact thing I've wanted for DC. Like, Warner Brothers might be like, it might be a shit company, and it might not, have a good handle on some of these properties. But I will say this: they're starting to turn it around. DC specifically is starting to turn it around. With the last year's success of Aquaman, with Shazam, and recently with Joker, say what you will about that movie, whatever your opinions might be or your thoughts, but that movie did cross the $1 billion mark. So
yes, it did, just like Aquaman.
Exactly, which is 2 DC films now that have crossed the $1 billion mark. Now
fucking DC hasn't been looking this good since the fucking Dark Knight, and I'm so fucking happy.
Yeah,
fuck
man is
you,
eating this shit up.
Like,
I'm a DC bitch.
Well, that's the thing. I'm very happy because it's finally we're getting some competition. Like, we're like Marvel has kind of Marvel fans kind of joke about the idea that it's like, they're not comparable, but now we're getting it. So you compare the dark and drab trailer of the Black Widow movie with this very colorful, very electric 1980s vibe of Wonder Woman, and this is kind of like it's a huge contrast between these two, and they're both coming out I think relatively around the same time. Actually, let me look up when the Black Widow movie comes out real quick, just so I know.
Dude,
Okay.
I'm so proud of DC. My baby, it looks like you getting your fucking shit together. You cleaned up, you got off them drugs, you going back to college. I'm so proud of you.
Oh my god, I knew that Zack Snyder wasn't good for you. No.
I knew that Zack Snyder, that boy. Baby, he made you dance in the pale moonlight. He was no good for you.
May 1st, 2020 is when Black Widow is coming out, which is a comparable release date to when the Avengers movies tend to come out.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to make it like the summer blockbuster. This comes out in June, like a month later. So, I'm very excited to kind of see like how the two, like, these are two comparable films, and I think that there's the obvious concern of like, will there be fatigue within that month? Will there, there's obvious like concern about that. But if you ask me, I think that if I wasn't that big of a fan of the original Wonder Woman, I thought it was good, and I think Gal Gadot is a really great Wonder Woman, but it just wasn't for me. Something about it was just a little off, except for like one or two scenes that I just really enjoyed. The film didn't just do it for me, but it's, then you have to have that acknowledgement of like, well, maybe it's just not for me, But this one looks like fun, and unfortunately, I recognized who the villain of this movie was immediately. It's Pedro.
Yeah.
It's Pedro Pascal, who is the Mandalorian.
God. Also, can we just say, look how beautiful the girl is. She's fucking killing it, mommy. Fuck yeah. I'm so fucking proud. I'm so proud that DC is just like getting its shit together. It hasn't had its shit together since The Dark Knight. And immediately after The Dark Knight, it spiraled out of control.
Well, it's because Snyder was trying to make his own like version of that. Like, DC didn't really know what to like. There was like, oh, we did Superman Returns, and that didn't work out so hot. So Man of Steel was their attempt at like a Dark Knight version of it, and it
sucked.
Well, they're only learning now that, like, hey, maybe having some color in your movies, and hey, maybe not making it so, like, even Shazam, who is kind of like, which is a Christmas movie, right? Shazam's a Christmas movie, but it has more color than like not the Dark Knight, the Justice League movie or anything like that. But like, they're actually going to add some color, and something that like was very positive about Wonder Woman originally was just like, oh yeah, there's. You go to Themyscira, I think, the place where all the Amazonians live, and it's like bright green and blue, and like people weren't used to that. Like, I remember reading reviews where it's like, it's very weird to see a ton of color in these moments, and it's a beautiful contrast between that and the the Europe situation with World War One. So like, you have these moments. You have an actual contrast. Now you have directors who are like really, they have visions, right? You watch Aquaman and you're like, well, the director has a vision of what he wants, and you can tell with all the visual spectacle of that film. And Shazam, you kind of get like this. Yeah, it's a campy '90s like family movie, but at the same time, it works for what it is. And with Wonder Woman, I'm hoping that this kind of reinvigorates it and makes it just awesome. There's a part in that trailer where she's like, lassoing lightning to stay in the air. That's fucking sick shit. Like, that's
fuck yeah, dude.
Like there's like there's something that's just inherently cool about that. So like, what I would love is if they did kind of like a Thor Ragnarok, in which they take inspiration from like 1980s like cover art and stuff like that. Or like, if, because it is 84, I would love it if they kind of did stuff like that. But it's gonna be very interesting, and I can't wait to kind of see how not the market, but how the companies react, because as of right now, Disney saw Justice League coming out and they kind of scoffed and laughed at it, and they had every right to. But now DC has 3 very solid movies under their belt, each one very different from one another, you know?
Oh yeah.
Aquaman's a big bombastic battle under the ocean. Shazam is kind of a family film with superpowers and stuff. And you have the Joker, which which is the Joker. And so to have another, like, my hope is that this one will do the same thing. It don't follow the hero formula. Don't do that. Do your own thing. Make it work. Make it your own. Make your movie fucking memorable as fuck. And and you will be winning a different kind of battle against Marvel.
Yeah, dude. And fucking DC has not only started to get its shit together movie-wise, but from what I hear, fucking the Harley Quinn, like, animated series is pretty fucking good. Like, legitimately, I've heard only good things about it. Which is amazing.
I actually completely forgot that there is a Harley Quinn movie coming out literally next year. So you have Wonder Woman, you have Harley Quinn, and I can't remember what the title's called, but DC is gonna have 2 very solid films out next year, and maybe that's kind of counting the chicken before the eggs hatch, which is not how that phrase is worded, but I don't give a shit.
It's close enough.
Close enough. But you have diversity in your superhero movies in a different way than like racial diversity. I'm talking about thematic and plot diversity.
Yeah, but dude, fucking, like, from what I've seen of the animated Harley Quinn series, it's actually pretty decent. And whoever they got to play Ivy has a really good chemistry with the lady who's playing, like, Harley.
Good.
Like, they just have, like, casual conversations almost, and it's almost as if they are actually friends. It's nice.
That is very solid. I know that some people I know that a lot of, like, fans were making fun of, like, Patterson being the new Batman. But I'm genuinely curious to see how that turns out. I want to know, So.
Was he still being Batman? I thought that changed.
Yeah, I thought they switched. I thought they were like, no, it's not Pattinson anymore.
Well, let's find out. Magic of Google, find me Robert Patterson.
Patterson, will you be our Bat of the Night?
It is. Yeah, it's still him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he okay? Like, straight up, if he's not Terry and he's not fucking of Gods and Monsters, what the fuck is they doing?
Well, I think it's a standard Batman and Robin story.
What?
I think that's what it is. I think it's a standard Batman and Robin story.
On one hand, I'd be super down for that. On the other hand, I don't know if Robert's the best to just be the regular Batman.
Oh, well, let's see here. So, Robert Pattinson is Bruce Wayne. We have Jeff Wright as Commissioner Gordon. For those of you guys who know him, he's in Westworld. I can't remember his name. I am horrible with names. Fuck me. Zoe Kravitz is gonna be Selena Kyle. Paul
and a new kitty cat. Really?
Yeah. Paul Dano, who I don't know who that is. Is as the Riddler.
Oh.
Colin Farrell. Really? As Penguin.
That's honestly amazing.
Andy Serkis.
Can I just say how amazing that is?
That's Colin Farrell.
Also, we haven't seen a Riddler in the fucking movies since Jim Carrey.
Yeah. That's crazy. We have Andy Serkis as Alfred. We'll see. I'm curious. I'm very curious.
This cast is very odd.
We have John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. All right.
I'm so lost. Wait, so Catwoman, Riddler, the Penguin. What kind of fucking movie is this?
Well, the fact that they're putting the fucking Falcone family in this shit, you know, like that's a whole different thing entirely. Like that's some mob shit.
Is this some sort of like IMDb's wish list or
No, this is everyone confirmed. This is everyone confirmed. Oh yeah, and Peter Sarsgaard, who people are thinking is going to be Two-Face.
What is this, like the Rogues Gallery? What the fuck are they doing?
I don't know, but this many villains, this much shit, like this sounds like it could, like, granted, there have been times in which that doesn't work out too hot,
I
but
need them to pull out Jim Carrey and Arnold Schwarzenegger again and just being like the Riddler and fucking Mr. Freeze. This is what I desire. I need them to come back.
Do you think that they're gonna
do their roles?
Do you think they're gonna, like, essentially, because Ben Affleck's Batman was so grimdark, do you think that they're going to, like, kind of go a little in a different direction with it?
They, honest to God, might. I'm curious if they're going from bronze back to silver. With the direction the cast looks like. I'm also super fucking... I don't want another Adam West Batman. Adam West is gone, and God bless him, I loved his Batman. He was so cheesy. I'm not ready for another Adam West Batman.
There is an actress I did miss. Jamie Lawson as a character named Bella. She just graduated from Juilliard School. She's been cast in quote unquote a sizable role. And the character is a grassroots political candidate running for the office in Gotham. That hasn't doused speculation among some fans that she might actually be playing Commissioner Gordon's daughter, Barbara, aka Batgirl.
Really?
Yeah. It looks like we're gonna have a fun time, guys. I'm very curious how this is gonna turn out. Oh
yeah, for sure.
Especially with how, like, the track record is going right now. With Aquaman being a big fucking fantasy, Shazam being a family film, Joker being Joker. I feel like it's the only way I could say it. And Wonder Woman 1984 looks like it's going to be a fun 80s, like an 80s romp adventure. Like, this is like a much more diverse, like, setup for all this shit. So,
yeah, I'm super curious now. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing.
Oh man.
Which, honest to God, is a first in a long time. And that's kind of exciting in and of itself, because based solely on that cast, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And also, very disappointed that they didn't get Patton Oswalt to just be the Penguin.
Well, he is the Penguin in his own right.
He's the Penguin in my heart.
Yeah. Please don't play a video. All right.
I'm very curious. I'm also very excited.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something different, and I hope that it's something that, like, something that I really enjoyed about Aquaman was the fact that people kept guessing what it was going to be all about, but at the end of the day, they did diverge enough from the comics that it made a unique kind of adventure for Aquaman. Same thing with Shazam, you know? It was different enough that, like, people had an idea of where it was going to go, but maybe not all the pieces were there, you know?
Yeah.
And hell, I'm forgetting one of the biggest ones that I'm excited for. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to play Black Adam, another DC villain, and apparently, like, the movie's actually going to be focused on him as Black Adam fighting against like Hawkman. So like,
Ooh.
so that's gonna be kind of interesting. Like they have like lineups of like unique stuff going on, but they're doing something that's unique and different enough that it's not gonna be like, oh, we're gonna go see this movie. Oh, well, was it Doctor Strange? All right, Doctor Strange is gonna end up in a car accident. He's gonna be snarky like Tony Stark, and he's gonna reinvent himself, not with like an iron suit, but with magic. And then his villain is gonna be the same sympathetic guy we keep getting across every fucking movie, and it's like.
Meanwhile, fucking DC's like, this boy can turn into a full-grown superhero, so he's going to use that powers to buy beer.
That's right.
Because that's what a 12-year-old would do.
He's like, fuck yeah.
Well, that's the thing. As long as they keep making unique films, I think DC is going to win a different kind of battle. They might not win the fans, because the fans have already made up their mind, right? Like, anyone who saw Endgame and is like, this is the greatest movie ever, like, that's done. They're made up. Their mind is made up. But the more I think about Endgame, the more that we kind of step away from Endgame, the more I realize how much I actually didn't really like Endgame. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. It's good. And like that's what it has to be. And I'm not
okay.
And it's not big. We all saw it because we wanted to see the conclusion to Infinity War, which in my opinion is a better movie.
It is.
And I know that people will bitch and moan. Oh, well, how could you like Thanos? He's the villain. Well, we went on the hero's journey with him. I already did a podcast about that. We went on the hero's journey with him. He might not have like the best, plan ever, but like he was a different kind of character. And I think that in Marvel to have a different kind of film in general makes for a better movie. Something I didn't like about Endgame was the fact that we had a completely different Thanos by the end of the fucking movie, so it didn't matter. It was just a different version of him. That's like if we didn't get the same version of Tony Stark, we got a different version of Tony Stark, and we're just expected to like him. Like, that's not how this works. That's not the Thanos we went with the other movie, and the thing that I'll always remember is, like, they kill Thanos off in the first 10 minutes of that fucking movie, and one of the people in the crowd was like, yeah! It's like, fuck you! Like, you don't... Like, are you serious? Like, that's what you were waiting for? Like, I get it, you grew up with these heroes and stuff, but come on, like, to have a contender against the Avengers was the biggest and coolest thing that Infinity War had to offer. The fact that they fucking lost. And I don't know, that was the most interesting thing. So this idea that they go back in time and fix everything just doesn't necessarily make for an interesting movie. It just made for a movie. Time travel and
a conclusion.
Well, and then they didn't even do it the interesting way. Like, oh, maybe the reason why, Thanos' hand was all fucked up was because it wasn't the real time stone,
Yeah.
Like they kept alluding to this idea that fucking Doctor Strange had actually hid the time stone, and that they were going to use the time stone to kind of fix shit, but then, oh no. The fan theories about Endgame were way more interesting than actual Endgame.
Yeah, I can agree with that one.
Like, I will give them, like, Bro Thor. Bro Thor was fun. I liked that. I liked, like, a Thor that went through depression and got fat, and, like because he couldn't save everyone, and he like, I like that concept.
Yeah, it was realistic, but then they just kept making fun of it, and it was like, okay, this kind of like this character that used to be so confident, and he's lost all of that because of what happened, and you're making fun of it. Good job for your like only interesting character in this movie so far.
I mean, I'm just glad that they didn't make him skinny by the end.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I have my confidence back. And for some reason, I got thin again. Yeah, it's like...
I have my confidence back, and I've now lost 50 pounds.
Oh,
I lost 50 pounds because of...
I also just had...
God magic.
I mean, that's another thing, is just not Ishgard. Like, the thing that I didn't like... The one thing I didn't like about Infinity War, admittedly, was... Thor's whole arc in Ragnarok was that he, was like, oh, I'm more than my hammer. What's this plot role in fucking Infinity War? I'm gonna make a new hammer. Like, that's like, it's kind of dumb, It's weird that it backtracked, and that and another thing, he fucking loses his eye. Where's the eye patch? And he wears that eye patch for 4 seconds because fucking like we have to. I guess we just have to give him an eye now, or like there's tons of stuff that I have like issues.
Oh
with.
yeah, no, we just conveniently have the spare eye here. Take it. It's like, what?
Yeah, I have here's for the cyber eye, and which I always thought it'd be funny if like when he channels electricity through him that like the eye breaks because it's a prosthetic eye.
Because
Oh,
realistically,
God,
that's what would have happened.
That image in my mind just physically hurt me.
Like, well, because that's the thing. So
glass eye shattering in your skull.
we all forgot that like that's right. That's a fake eye. How is it able to like glow like the Asgard eye? It doesn't matter. Like that, you could say that's nitpicky bullshit, but I also think that it's like fucking integral to like the actual character arc. It was supposed to be symbolic that he lost his eye because it's what his dad did. Like his dad lost an eye, and the story was about like obtaining knowledge and shit. It's like a whole fucking thing. And I will agree with Ren here. It's the different production teams didn't communicate, and the Russos didn't have an account for every development in every fucking movie. Which is, I think, is why I prefer the DC method right now, in which everything is very separate from each other. And should they ever do a Justice League film again, I think what they should do is they should definitely just have every director and every person sit down in the same fucking room and make sure they have everything right. Because that was stupid. That was fucking dumb. DC need, like I'm still of the mindset that DC, their greatest strength is that Marvel shot first. Marvel did all this stuff first, but it's full of flaws. So just make movies that aren't like their flaws. Or that just don't have their flaws. And I think that'll work out for them in the end.
I mean, I think it'll definitely fucking help. Fucking, because DC's like, or it was trying so hard to like do their fucking bullshit that it kind of stuck its own foot in its mouth, honestly. And it, honest to God, really suffered for a while. But I'm glad it's finally like starting to figure it out. Because while Suicide Squad had a great fucking soundtrack, it was an okay movie. Not great. It was okay. And there's a lot of issues with it. Clearly. Jared Leto. That boy was a nightmare. Fucking. So I'm glad that they're finally just starting to get their shit together. And I would love nothing more if fucking they can give them a run for their fucking money. Because, I think Disney should have to fucking work for it every once in a while. God forbid Disney actually work for it, but I don't know. I want Disney to fucking actually have to try. I want someone to give Disney a fucking run for their money. Nothing would please me more right here and right now if some upstart animation company fucking made the next Disney movie fucking sink. Nothing would make me happier because in my heart, I would know that there would be some CEO who just pissed his pants. And that pleases me.
Just, oh no. It's like they see like a trailer for it come out, like they didn't know this was in production like at all, and they just look at it and just go, oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Yeah,
like looking
that's
at his
all
phone.
I want is for fucking Disney for once to go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I feel like this is such a problem like with like the bigger companies just in general, because they get like more specifically with like Disney and Marvel, it's like they get put on a pedestal and then nothing can compare for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy a lot of movies that are all over the place. Do I like newer Disney movies? Not so much.
No.
When I was a kid, and like I still rewatch like older films, like yeah, definitely. But it's like Disney has just been around for such a long time, and people still hold them to that same standard from when they were a kid. Like I used to think that way. I don't anymore because I'm just like these are shit.
I'm
Also,
sorry,
I'm
go
not a
on.
kid anymore, so you know.
Well, all I was gonna say is like okay, let's look at their movies from this year, right? Believe it or not, Captain Marvel came out this year.
It came out this year.
It was in March. Yeah.
So
The
Disney
fuck?
left a flaming dump on my door this year.
That's right. And then they reversed time so that they could not do that. And
Captain Marvel was this year.
yeah, Captain Marvel, the answer to
Fuck.
Wonder Woman came out this year, and Brie Larson then proved that she was the strongest character in the MCU, and then flew away because Earth's mightiest heroes can deal with themselves. And then she took a big fucking dump, and then left. Fucking, I'll never.
It's like, all right.
I'll
See
never.
how it is.
I'll never forget like just how like fucking. Thor has problems off world, but he's never like, you fuckers. Like, you pieces of fucking shit. Like, there's other planets out there that I could be helping. He's always like, you know what, friends, I'll see you guys later. You know, he's always make sure that he...
Yeah, he's not gonna be he's not a snide prick about it. Just like, well, I've got to go protect the other people that no one else can, and only I can, because you can't go there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Disney
why are you
just-
being a bitch?
Well, because Disney has it in their head that a strong female lead is someone who's sassy and fucking down to fight and fucking will try to kick your ass and doesn't give a shit about how you feel or what you think. But in actuality, that doesn't necessarily make a strong female character.
No,
You've
just
made a dickhead.
bitch. You've made a bitch.
dickhead.
Oh, God.
like-
I'm not even going to use the word bitch because once again, people will just be like, "Oh, that's being down on women." No, you're a dickhead. Because guess what? Any other character that acts just like that is a dickhead. So
You
it's
can't-
all the same. You all suck. And guess what? You can be a strong female lead by being kind and compassionate. You can be a strong female lead any other fucking way. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm a tomboy and I'm gonna cut my hair short and fuck the boys and I don't need no help from no man. I don't. What? Why? Are you saying that women who like to wear pretty dresses and are happy cooking or are happy taking care of other people, are you saying that they're lesser Disney? Because they're not. Fight me, Disney. Fight me,
I like
Disney.
the idea that like just like there's like a huge gargantuan titan outside, and you can't see its head, but all you hear bellowing down below, echoing through the mountains, is freaking like punches, destroys your house. With
It's
its
okay.
fist.
I'll just fucking tell them that a fucking t-shirt bot is stealing their fucking logo again.
Oh my god, dude. Okay, so going, continue. I want to kind of go off on that a little bit because we gotta change the image. I can't. I didn't have this prepared, but we gotta change the image because I'm very like interested in like in this conversation thread, right? Because guess what?
Yeah.
There's a certain movie that's coming out in 2 weeks.
Is
that
there now?
yeah. Where that trilogy of films has divided an entire fan base.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. By the way, Lesbian Human just said Amanda fights Disney in a dense parking lot at 4 a.m.
That's right. Mickey Mouse with a knife.
He gonna shank you. Just
Meanwhile, I'm like, try me, bitch.
So
every time Mickey shanks you, he just goes,
Try me, bitch. I haven't bought any of your shit in years. Try me. I don't give a fuck.
All right. So I don't know how big this image is gonna appear. Oh, it actually perfectly fit the image. Okay.
Yay!
All right, so let's do this. I didn't think this is what I was doing today, but this is what we're doing today. All right, I'm gonna shrink this a little so that like if you guys see borders on our videos in the next couple weeks, I wanted to let me actually get rid of this one real quick and and that one too. I'm gonna do this one. If you guys see borders on our videos for the next ever, it's because we keep getting fucking copyright claims. Or not claims. We don't claims. We get copyright claims, not strikes. From different YouTubers who just happen to have the same footage as us because we don't make our footage unique in terms of like a Game Grumps border or a little thing on the corner with our head in it or a logo or whatever. And they're claiming our videos. And at first it didn't bother me because it was like those old videos. I'm like, well. But then I actually got a little bit that was just like, hey, I thought you always said that your videos weren't going to have ads in it. What's up? And I'm like, oh, this is shit. And so I have to now sit here and explain to you guys that fucking a lot of our old shows are getting copyright claims by other YouTubers who want to just make, like, I think it's a bot issue, but the claims aren't going away, is what I've learned. So if you see a border around our videos, or if you see anything that makes it a little more distinct that it's us, that's why. Because I refuse. I absolutely. Yeah, I fucking refuse.
What?
Yeah, I absolutely refuse. If I'm not making money, why should those fuckers make money? And two,
what the fuck?
And two, we are way too small for this shit to be like impacting us. My fear is that those claims will become strikes, and if that happens, the channel's done. So we're gonna start putting borders in our videos. It might take some time for us to get like that integrated into the system, but we are doing that because I absolutely refuse to fucking deal with that shit. It's probably something I should have mentioned earlier, but I only remembered it just now.
Holy shit! I had no idea.
Yeah, I made a tweet about it. Like, so, just letting you all know, if you see some changes to the channel, that's what's up. So,
what the fuck?
Yeah. And now some people say it's just bots, but other people are saying that it's the individual who is monetizing like a Let's Play video and it's multiple claims. So, fuck it. I'm not taking chances anymore. This is fucking stupid. And it shouldn't be this fucking hard to run a free YouTube channel. Anyways, guys, let's talk about something that'll make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Star Wars The Last Jedi.
That's not gonna make you feel better.
As I was driving back to the airport today, they had a huge motherfucking sign on an overpass, and I'm like, right, that's coming out soon. Shit.
So get ready for your bud, Mitch, talking about Rise of Skywalker for months on end. No,
I actually had a fucking a long conversation with one of my friends last night in which I asked her if she was going to fucking go watch this because she's a huge fucking Star Wars fan. And her boyfriend is a huge Star Wars fan. And they actually run the fan club for their city.
Goddamn.
For Star Wars. And I went, so you're gonna go see it, right? And she went, oh, fuck no. And I went, oh, are you for real? And she's like, yeah. No. And I went, oh.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So this movie comes out in 2 weeks, and we're gonna talk. The reason we're talking about it is because it kind of is on a tangent that was similar to what you went on before I kind of ruined it. But here's the deal. If you guys have been listening to the podcast for a long time, you guys know that I am a big fan of Star Wars. I kind of talked about it last week a little bit with the MMO I've been playing and some of the other stuff that I've been kind of getting into. You know, obviously, I can't believe I'm actually like on the precipice of like actually watching Boruto. It's a whole nother thing, but like we're not talking about it this week.
No, Mitch, please, no.
I know.
No.
Believe
Mitch,
it.
Like, part of me wishes you had a fucking TikTok because I just keep finding Naruto TikToks and I'm just like, fuck.
I mean, maybe
I
I
want to
should.
send you
The
all
void
of the
will be
Naruto
filled.
shit. I just
like
want to
the
send
void
you
will
all of
fill.
the Naruto memes.
Believe
Just send
it.
it to him anyway. You do it to me as well.
So okay.
Look at it.
So here's the issue, right? And this is gonna sound the way it's gonna sound. And I want to kind of explain myself because this is you're either into okay. So when I was a kid, we had this conversation yesterday, and I feel bad that I'm gonna kind of reiterate it for the show, but it doesn't matter. When I was a kid, I was a big Star Wars fan. I actually ran a sci-fi club in middle school. That's how much of a fucking nerd I was because I love Star Wars so fucking much. And there was a distinction between the prequel babies and the old guard. And we were kind of always at like, in the same way that, like, the only phrase I can think of that almost equates, like, to the warring tides of the prequel babies and the old guard would be, like, okay, boomer. Because the prequel babies loved the prequels, you know, and the old guard loved the old trilogy, and obviously there was a divide because some prequel babies didn't watch, you know, the old trilogy, and that pissed the old guard off like nonstop. And mind you, that there's tons of things I could talk about Star Wars forever. I've been doing it for weeks now. Fucking talking about how the old canon, like in terms of the expanded universe, was destroyed. And we could talk about fucking how fucking they went out of their way to destroy the old canon in terms of like the 30, 40 years of novels and novels, comics, and video games and board games and all that shit. They destroyed all that canon so that directors would be able to direct the new fucking movies, and then the directors complained and bitched and moaned that they couldn't direct because of all this pre-existing shit. And then once it was gone, they're like, well, we can't do anything because the world of Star Wars is flat. And all of us are just like, what the fuck? What was the point of deleting it all then? There's tons of shit we can complain about. We're talking about one very specific thing today. Fucking... I'm having a hard time really attaching myself to this new trio of characters. To Rey and Finn and Poe. And I guess Rose Tico. I'm having a really hard time connecting with these characters. And it sucks because I think I'm more interested in finding out, like, you know, is Luke gonna come back? Is Palpatine's coming back? Oh, I know, there's rumors that Mark Hamill is coming back for this. Despite him dying in the last one. But he kind of disappeared and became a Force ghost.
He's technically real, but he's technically not at the same time, because fuck you.
Exactly.
We're only leaving him in because that's the only reason that people watch these movies.
That's right. That's right. So, like, there was this whole thing that essentially, okay, I saw a comment by Insane Oddball that said, only George Lucas's ex-wife can save this. All right. I know that we all love shitting on George Lucas. Like, I get it. I super do. Fans of Star Wars, we super do it all the time. I'm being very legit. The day that George Lucas dies is going to be a sad fucking day for the entire fandom. Because George Lucas might be that weird, almost kind of racist uncle you have. Or, like, better yet, grandpa, right? He might be that weird grandpa that, like, is, like, just, like, doesn't understand anything that you like and, like, thinks, oh, well, this is what you want, right? And it's like, no. Well, I'm sorry, I destroyed the original copies, so you can't have it anymore. It's like, fuck. But when Lucas dies, we as a community, if we do not come together, it's going to be a very sad day. Because whether you hate or love George Lucas, whether you know... If you were a Star Wars fan or even like one of his movies or one of his pieces of media, he was the originator, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think it's a little ridiculous how much we keep throwing shade at Lucas despite everything. He might not be great at the micro, but he did make the macro. So.
Yeah, but he also deserves at least some hazing.
Oh yeah, he deserves every piece of hazing he gets for fucking Jar Jar Binks. And thinking that directing a child actor like Anakin, it was a good idea. But, like, you know, like, he's a flawed, your grandpa's a flawed man. He's not
He's
perfect.
not my grandpa. He's my drunk uncle who keeps saying he's going to be a screenwriter one day.
Well,
And then somehow succeeded.
that's right. He's the Tommy Wiseau of directors. Sometimes those prequels feel like Tommy Wiseau wrote them.
I know.
Okay, but anyways, the point is that it's really hard to talk about like Star Wars and stuff lately without kind of talking about the fucking the last, not the Last Jedi, but the Rise of Skywalker, right? Because Abrams came in and said, "Hey, I'm gonna direct this first one, but then a new director's gonna come and do the next ones," right? And Bryan Johnson came in and said, "Well, I'm just gonna be a big fat fucking troll. You think this is gonna happen, but this isn't gonna happen. Lightsabers don't even clash. Once in the movie, it's not snow, it's salt." Like, Bryan Johnson's like that kind of shit tier, like, fucking teenage trickster who thinks he's so fucking cool because he did everything you weren't expecting. But he doesn't ask himself, like, oh, was it worth it, though? Was this a surprise in a good way? No. He's fucking, you thought I was going to save the baby, but I lit it on fire. like, no one wanted that. No one wants you, Bryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson, your name that should be Brian, but it's spelled R-I-A-N. Fuck. No one wants you. So then Abrams comes back and says, well, fuck it, I guess I gotta come back because you fucked everything up, Ryan Johnson. And Ryan Johnson's sitting there like, it's like, oh, let me go shake your hand. And he puts his hand out, and then like Ryan Johnson like puts his foot up. You weren't expecting that? Fucking hate him so fucking much. Anyways.
No fucking kidding, dude.
He's just a fucking goblin. Anyways, I can't. Like, I gotta stop talking about Ryan Johnson. Okay, so here's the deal. There's a lot of problems with the current Star Wars. There's a lot. There's so much wrong. There's so much. Oh, but the trick is the thing that we're all worried about. There's so much wrong, but the thing that I'm most concerned and worried about is the fact that J.J. Abrams is on this project again, which, mind you, he did an okay job with Force Awakens. It wasn't like the greatest thing ever, but it was a good retread, and it could show that there was a way to modernize Star Wars, right? But guess who's writing Rise of Skywalker?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the writer of Justice League and the writer of Batman v Superman?
No. Why?
Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the fucking shithole.
Yeah.
That was my fandom.
Abrams fucking sat there and was like, you know who we want? We want this guy. This guy who made...
You know
this
who
guy
has
did
an
such a good job.
amazing track record?
This guy.
motherfucker.
Yeah. And then at first I was like, well, I could probably ignore this movie, right? Like, I could sit here and I could ignore it because it's only going to be the end of a trilogy. It's the sequel trilogy. It's whatever. This is how probably... I used to sit here and think, oh, well, this is probably how the old guard felt when the prequels came out. Prequels are bad, but they're absolute shit. But that's neither here nor there. And so,
Mitch,
in a weird way,
this man. I don't mean to interrupt you. This man solved a problem in which two men were legit going to fucking murder each other, whatever the cost, and solved it using, your mommy has the same name as my mommy.
Save Martha. Why'd you say that name?
Yeah, the same mommy name. Okay, we're good now.
But what's your dad's name?
What's your dad's name? I hate you.
And he's like, oh, it's probably not gonna be his name.
No, I just hate Mitch because he's quoting the fucking Teen Titans Go to the Movie.
That's alright.
Because that's a scene. Because they're a fucking stupid ass movie.
Like, oh god, dude, that is your fucking writer now.
Yeah, I know. No, it's worse because Abrams fucking came on with the idea that like, oh, he can rewrite it any way he wants. And in an interview, I guess he went out and said, like, so what are you gonna? So what's the rule set for this one? And he's like, you know what? Fuck it. And he said that, and I thought about it, and I'm like, oh fuck, we are so fucked. We are so fucking fucked. Because then Abrams went out of his way to say, oh, this isn't the end of this trilogy. This is the end to all the trilogies. So if you ever had a stake in Star Wars, just fucking, it's over. Like, this is going to be the one that ends it. Oh. Because they're trying everything in their power to get people to see this movie, because they know for a fact that no one wants to see this group of characters again. No one wants to see Rey and Poe and fucking and Finn and Rose because they don't have heart. We don't care about them. You know, at least Anakin. Anakin was a shit-eating like fucking piece of shit, right? He's fucking edgy. He's like, you know, his line delivery is horrible. I don't blame Hayden Christensen, mind you. I blame fucking George Lucas for being a horrible director. But that's neither.
Oh yeah, because like I've heard him in other shit, and he sounds just fine. I don't know what he did to the boy.
There's a lot wrong. There's a lot wrong with fucking Star Wars, but we're focusing on this one thing. You know what didn't help? When you alienated, like, Kathleen fucking Kennedy, like, you know what didn't help was when you alienated the entire old guard and kind of made it sound like if you're not with me, you're my enemy. And then the old guard's like, only a Sith deals in absolute. And then it says, I do what I must. And then you guys have been having a fucking lightsaber fight over on Mustafar for fucking 5 years now. It feels like it. It fucking feels like it. And I know that people bitch and moan about Kathleen Kennedy, and that's all the whole other issues and stuff like that. And I think some of them are a little bigoted, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that like I don't feel for these characters. I don't give a flying fuck what happens to like Finn, because he had the exact same arc in 2 fucking movies. Rose Tico stopped Finn from sacrificing himself because she said love will find a way, and then kisses Finn, and then a laser beam destroys a wall and kills rebels, and it's and then fucking Poe Dameron's supposed to be one of the he's supposed to be this generation's Han Solo, and they keep fucking it up. And they keep expecting you to feel the way that we would feel for Han and Luke and Leia. And they keep I've heard the argument 1,000 times, like, oh well, if you're calling Rey a Mary Sue, well, Luke's a Mary Sue. Yeah, they are. That's it. You know what the difference is? Fucking Luke didn't fight Vader until episode 2. Like, Rey fights Kylo and beats him, and then it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, I sat in the theaters the first time, like, that was pretty cool. That was, I liked how grounded this lightsaber fight was. And then I thought about it more, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, it didn't twist in my mind, like, how, like, despite everyone claiming that they're parallels, they're not. Luke loses to Vader in the first fight. He loses a fucking arm. He's arrogant and shitty. Luke is like, you know, like he lets his emotions get the better of him, and then he fucking like loses to Vader. It's like a whole fucking thing. Why did I do this? Why did I open up this can of worms?
I know, you're like, let's talk about something that makes me feel better.
Oh,
this movie, Rise of the Skywalker.
Okay, that's another thing. I don't think that they are gonna be a relationship. I know everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Raylo. I don't think it is. I think what they're doing is Jason and Jaina. So if you guys don't know, if you guys don't know, I gotta stop this. If you guys don't know, is that in the old comics, Leia and Han had a pair of twins and then a son. So Jason and Jaina were the twins, and then Anakin was the son. Leia wanted to name Anakin because later in life she grew sympathy towards her father and everything. And So Jason and Jaina essentially were great Jedis. They were both trying to help establish order throughout the torn galaxy. Jaina rose to the ranks of the Jedi, while Jason fell to the dark side of the Force. So they're twins who kind of are supposed to be the yin and yang of the Star Wars universe. Jaina eventually defeats and kills Jason. It's like a whole thing. And I think that that's where they're going. I think that that's like, I know that Snoke said, oh, well, I established this little pre-established bond between you and, whatever. But I also think that there is something genuinely there. I just don't think it's love. I think they're twins. I think, and maybe not in the way that, like, maybe it's not the Luke and Leia. Well, yeah, it's not the Luke and Leia way. Maybe not the, Jason and Jaina way. But I think it's something to do with the Force. They're supposed to be equals of balance. They're not romantically involved. I think they're just supposed to even out. If this trilogy has taught me anything, if the sequel trilogy has emphasized this idea, is that there always has to be a balance in the Force. With great evil comes great good. That's the whole point of The Last Jedi. Luke says, hey, let the Jedi die, because if the Jedi die, there's not going to be any, fuck it. There's, we're going to end up balancing the Force. Without a great good, there can't be a great evil. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think that they're going to do the Jason Jaina thing. And I could be wrong. And they're going to do the fucking hedo shit. Because whatever.
Because why not?
But
if that's the case, I mean, Rey looks suspiciously like
Jaina.
And I mean dead ass, similar outfit, same hair. Actress looks suspiciously like her.
Yeah, if you guys want to go on a fun little ride, go look up some of the art of Jaina Solo. And because that was a fun little trip we went on, right? Was just looking up images and being like, oh fuck.
Yeah, oh no, she looks just like Rey.
So that's kind of where I'm going, because I do genuinely like the relationship between those two characters. I just don't want it to be romantic, I want it to be like a weird sense of trust, the understanding that with one evil must come great good, with the dark side comes light. And yes, that is a very it's a very two-sided way to look at good and evil. But that's Star Wars for you. It's not. We're not back in Legends, in which it was less about two sides of a coin and rather than the deftness of a pool. We're not going to go into that. So, anyways, yeah, that's the.
Okay, do you want me to put this on a lighter note?
Yeah.
Something I noticed that still makes me laugh. So the actress for Rey, it reminds me of Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Okay.
I can't get it out of my fucking mind. She had a photo shoot, and she was dressing a bit more masculinely. They were good photos, but all I could think is you look like a more feminine version of Dylan and Cole Sprouse. I still can't get it out of my head. I'm looking at this picture, and I'm that's just Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Oh man,
that's fair. Half sure she's 2 seconds away from trying to sell me Danimals.
Oh my god. Anyways, there's fucking, I don't know.
Everyone's mad at me now.
It's
pointing
okay.
It out.
Yeah, no, yeah. Photoshop it, guys. You'll have a great time. At the end of the day, I guess all I wanted to say was that Star Wars is fucked. But I also kind of wanted to say, hey, maybe don't fucking alienate your entire fandom by bringing issues into it that didn't exist before you came in and said it. Maybe don't do that, huh? Just fucking. Oh.
I don't know. I'm just kind of sat here all right, it's your turn. Have fun. He's a shit rider.
We get the best of both worlds.
Oh no.
No, I just want JJ. Oh god, no! The scene that gets me in that fucking trailer is they're riding horses on a Star Destroyer, and someone out there, yeah. So what fucking?
I know it's a fucking. They don't care. No one cares.
Okay, it's like it's one thing to like alienate your entire fucking fan base, but then it's like you just decide to delete everything that has come before your movies.
Yeah.
And you don't do anything good with it, and you clearly just don't give a shit anymore. It's like, if you don't give a shit anymore, why'd you have to get rid of everything?
Well, that's what some people are talking about, and honestly, there is a worry because Kathleen Kennedy's contract is up in like I think 2 years now, or maybe next year. It's sometime soon. And there's rumors that Jon Favreau, because he's been knocking it out of the park with The Mandalorian, that he might become, a little bit higher up in the chain for Disney. So, and handling the Star Wars property.
That would be fucking sweet.
Yeah. Like, I will admit, I am enjoying The Mandalorian, like, a lot. Like, I had a whole conversation when I was on my trip about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's this Baby Yoda. Like, you could talk to random people on the street, and they'll just bring up the fucking Baby Yoda. Everyone lost their mind. It was amazing. I'm so mad at me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. Well, guys, we'll don't worry. If you're like, hey, I don't like it when you guys talk about Star Wars, don't worry. I'll be back here in like a couple weeks talking about the movie. Fuck. Anyways, there's so much we can unpack there. We don't have enough time.
We really don't.
No.
We don't have enough time in a fucking week, dude.
Oh, God. All right.
If we were to sit here and complain, we would fucking all be here for 2 fucking weeks. Nate would starve.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's...
No, like,
I did have a main topic for tonight, believe it or not. I did have the topic of, hey, how to get your friends into fighting games, because that's something that is very near and dear to me. We're not talking about it this week. I'm going to save it for next week.
I thought your main topic was this and Wonder Woman.
Well, yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, I did have like there are some like big chunky like bits, and I do want to talk about getting into fighting games, just like growing up, like how even though the community's a lot like better than it was when I was a kid, how the systems and all this stuff can be alienating, and trying to kind of get friends to not do the button mashing shit. So we'll talk about that next week. I was going to talk about it this week, but then I got on a stupid tangent with fucking Star Wars.
It happens.
Yeah. That being said, we're going to cover 2 topics real quick. So Pokemon, there's actually some big news in Pokemon. Starting up in January or it's either in January or in a couple weeks. I'm not good at this. They're doing the official Pokemon tournaments. And the rule changes have been very interesting this year, because guess what? They're doing doubles and not singles. We're doing some double rules. They are allowing some Gigantamax Pokemon into the arena. And it seems like the meta game for that has been very interesting lately. So if you guys are fans of Pokemon, or you want to see something a little different than what we're used to seeing every year, go check that out. It's going to be really cool. And last but not least, episode 5 of The Mandalorian came out, and it was fucking great, and that's all I have to say about it. All right, that's another episode.
I haven't watched it yet because I was on my trip, so I wasn't able to watch it with you guys.
That's right. That's right. So thank you guys for putting up with my bullshit for another week of podcast.
Thank you for also putting up with my bullshit of picking a random giant fucking company and telling them to fucking fight me.
Do you hear the Titan outside?
Yeah. I'm coming, you Goliath son of a bitch.
Fuck
and
you,
after
lesbians! We can't sell you to China!
After I'm done beating your Goliath ass, you can call me David, motherfucker.
We can't have the gays in our films. China won't like it. Boom. Fucking. It's a whole nother cup of worms.
That's a whole other conversation.
Hey, and then Nate was just here.
Mainland China is where it's at. Don't you agree, Blizzard? And Valve? been to China! Oh-ho! Ni hao ya! Bye, guys.